Listen up, y'all. I got to tell you something that most folks don't want to hear, but it's the truth you need right now. If you don't learn to think about yourself first, you're going to keep running in circles trying to please everybody else and getting nowhere. You know, prioritizing your own needs and happiness first is not just a suggestion. It's a foundation for living a fulfilled and balanced life. Too often, people get caught up in trying to meet everyone else's expectations, pleasing family, friends, co-workers, and society. And in the process, they lose sight of what truly matters to them. When you constantly put others first, you may feel appreciated in the short term, but over time, this habit can leave you drained, resentful, and disconnected from your own sense of purpose. Prioritizing yourself means recognizing that your happiness, well-being, and personal growth are just as important as anyone else's. It means understanding that to give your best to others, you must first be whole and fulfilled within yourself. When you think about your own needs first, you give yourself permission to identify what truly makes you happy. It's not about selfish indulgence, it's about self-awareness and setting a course for your life that aligns with your values and passions. This can look different for everyone. Maybe it's taking time for rest, pursuing a hobby, setting healthy boundaries, or making choices that nurture your mental and emotional health. By focusing on your happiness first, you develop clarity about what you want out of life. You start making decisions that support your growth rather than decisions made out of obligation or guilt. This shift in mindset empowers you to say no to things that don't serve you and yes to opportunities that bring joy and fulfillment. Prioritizing yourself also sets a powerful example for others. When people see you valuing your own needs, they learn to respect your boundaries and understand that your happiness matters. It encourages healthier relationships because you engage with others from a place of wholeness, not depletion. It's important to note that putting yourself first doesn't mean you stop caring about others. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you're clear, centered, and happy, you have more energy and patience to support those around you. You're no longer giving from a place of scarcity, but from abundance. This balance helps you build stronger connections because you're authentic and present. When you prioritize your own happiness, you build resilience. Life throws challenges at everyone, but those who know how to care for themselves first tend to bounce back faster. They have a reservoir of strength to draw from in difficult times. That strength comes from self-respect and the habit of honoring their own needs. So prioritizing your needs and happiness first is about reclaiming your power and designing a life that feels meaningful and true to who you are. It's the key to unlocking your potential and living with intention. Saying no is one of the most powerful and necessary skills you can develop to protect your energy and maintain your well-being. Many people struggle with the word no because they fear disappointing others, facing rejection, or appearing selfish. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your priorities or drains your energy, you're saying no to yourself. You're sacrificing your time, your peace, and your ability to focus on what truly matters to you. Saying no isn't about shutting doors or closing yourself off. It's about setting clear boundaries that honor your limits and values. When you learn to say no confidently, you take control of your life and your choices. You stop being a passive participant who lets others decide what you should do or how you should spend your time. Instead, you become intentional with your commitments, choosing only those that add value to your life or support your goals. This clarity frees you from unnecessary stress and overwhelm. Many people say yes out of obligation, guilt, or fear of missing out. They agree to every request, invitation, or favor until they're exhausted and burned out. This pattern leads to resentment and frustration because they're constantly giving to others without replenishing themselves. Saying no is a form of self-respect. It's telling yourself and others that your time, energy, and well-being are important. When you set this standard, people learn to respect your boundaries and understand that you won't always be available at their convenience. This doesn't mean you become rigid or unkind. It means you communicate your limits clearly and compassionately. For example, if a friend asks for help when you're already overwhelmed, a respectful no protects your capacity to be supportive in the future without sacrificing your mental health. Saying no also creates space for opportunities that truly matter. When you're not overcommitted, you have the freedom to pursue your passions, rest when needed, and focus on personal growth. It's about quality, not quantity. Saying no empowers you to prioritize your goals and values above all else. It helps you build a life that feels intentional rather than reactive. When you protect your energy with a simple no, you're investing in your long-term happiness and success. Learning to say no takes practice and courage because it can feel uncomfortable at first. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You start recognizing your worth and what you truly deserve, and that makes saying no not just possible, but necessary. Self-care is the foundation that fuels confidence and strength, yet it's something many people overlook or underestimate in their busy lives. When you prioritize self-care, you're not just indulging in luxury or pampering yourself. You're actively investing in your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. This investment pays off by giving you the energy and resilience needed to face challenges, pursue goals, and handle life's ups and downs with greater ease. Confidence doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It grows from consistent acts of self-care that reinforce your sense of worth and capability. When you take time to care for yourself, you send a powerful message to your brain that you matter, that your needs are important, and that you deserve attention and kindness. This builds a positive self-image and deepens your trust in yourself. Without self-care, it's easy to fall into patterns of neglect, self-doubt, and burnout. When your body is tired, your mind overwhelmed, and your emotions neglected, confidence weakens and your inner strength fades. You become more vulnerable to stress and less able to handle setbacks. On the other hand, when you regularly practice self-care, whether through rest, healthy eating, exercise, mindfulness, or simply setting boundaries, you replenish your energy and clear mental clutter. This creates space for your confidence to grow naturally because you feel grounded and centered. Self-care also strengthens your ability to say no and protect your boundaries because you know what it feels like to run on empty. When you prioritize yourself, you become more selective about where you invest your time and energy, which further builds your inner strength. Confidence fueled by self-care is sustainable because it's based on a deep understanding of your value rather than external validation. It empowers you to take risks, speak your truth, and pursue what matters most without fear or hesitation. Strength born from self-care is not about being tough or pushing through pain. It's about resilience, adaptability, and self-compassion. It allows you to bounce back from setbacks with grace and keep moving forward even when the road gets rough. The more you practice caring for yourself, the more your confidence and strength become reliable tools that carry you through life's challenges. This cycle of self-care fueling confidence creates a positive feedback loop where each act of care reinforces your sense of power and capability. When you honor yourself regularly, you build a foundation of strength that supports every other area of your life. You are the main character of your life, and it's time to start living like it. Too many people move through life acting like extras in their own story, waiting for someone else to give them permission to shine. They let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others dictate their choices, holding back their potential. But the truth is, no one is going to live your life for you. No one else wakes up with your dreams, your struggles, your talents, or your perspective. That makes you unique, and that uniqueness deserves to take center stage. Being the main character doesn't mean being arrogant or self-centered. It means taking responsibility for your journey and recognizing that you have the power to shape your path. It means knowing that your voice matters, your decisions matter, and your time here is too valuable to spend playing small. When you stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's expectations, you begin to tap into your full power. The main character doesn't wait for someone to rescue them or show them the way. They take the lead. They fall, they rise, they learn, and they keep moving forward. That's what you're here to do. Taking on the role of the main character also means being honest about what you want. It means making choices that reflect your truth, not what's convenient or expected. When you live authentically, you attract the right people, opportunities, and experiences that align with who you really are. It's not always easy to step into that role. It takes courage to break away from the background noise and claim your space. But every time you make a bold move, speak up for yourself, or chase a goal that excites you, you reinforce your role as the author of your own story. Life doesn't happen in the sidelines. It happens in the decisions you make, the chances you take, and the way you choose to see yourself. When you carry yourself like the main character, people treat you like one. They take you seriously because you take yourself seriously. You stop asking for permission to be great and start owning your presence fully. Embracing your role means showing up for yourself even when it's uncomfortable, even when nobody is cheering yet. You realize that you don't need external applause to validate your worth. You create your own momentum. The story you live depends on how boldly you decide to write it. Valuing yourself teaches others to value you, and it starts with the way you show up for yourself every single day. People treat you based on the example you set. If you constantly downplay your worth, tolerate disrespect, or ignore your own needs, you're sending a message that it's acceptable for others to do the same. On the other hand, when you carry yourself with confidence, speak up for your boundaries, and show self-respect, you command that same energy from the people around you. Self-value is not about arrogance or demanding attention. It's about recognizing your own importance and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It's how you hold your space, how you walk into a room, and how you handle situations that test your patience or dignity. When you value yourself, you don't chase validation. You don't beg for love, recognition, or approval, because you already know who you are and what you bring to the table. That energy is powerful, and it changes the way people respond to you. People pick up on how you treat yourself. If you speak negatively about yourself constantly, apologize for existing, or put everyone's needs before your own, others will mirror that same disregard. But when you treat yourself like someone who matters, someone worth listening to, respecting, and supporting, Others begin to follow that lead. You become a mirror showing them how to engage with you. This self-value also sets the tone in relationships, both personal and professional. When you know your worth, you don't stay in spaces that make you feel small or unappreciated. You don't explain over and over why you deserve better. You show it through your choices. That kind of energy draws the right people to you, the ones who see your light and want to support it, not dim it. Valuing yourself is also about how you talk to yourself in private. It's in your thoughts, your self-talk, and your actions. You keep promises to yourself. You speak kindly to your own spirit. And you protect your energy like it matters. That's what teaches others that your time, your space, your love, all of it is not cheap. When you raise your standards internally, you raise them externally too. You stop entertaining people in situations that don't align with your worth. And slowly, your world begins to reflect the love and respect you give to yourself. It all begins with what you believe you deserve and how boldly you're willing to show it. Thinking about yourself is necessary, not selfish, and it's one of the most misunderstood truths in life. From a young age, many people are taught to put others first, to sacrifice, to be selfless. While generosity and compassion are beautiful traits, they should never come at the cost of your own well-being. There's a big difference between caring for others and abandoning yourself. When you constantly ignore your own needs in the name of being good, or you slowly erase parts of yourself. Thinking about yourself is how you stay whole. It's how you stay honest about what you want, how you feel, and where you're headed. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't serve others effectively if you're always running on empty. Self-focus is not about being self-centered. It's about being self-aware. It means paying attention to your mental state, your physical health, your goals, your peace, and your happiness. It's choosing to check in with yourself, to listen when something feels off, and to honor when you need to pause, reset, or walk away. When you think about yourself regularly, you begin to make decisions from a place of strength rather than guilt. You stop making choices just to please others or avoid conflict, and instead start making choices that align with your truth. This shift creates a life that feels more authentic and more fulfilling because it's built around what actually matters to you. It also creates space for better relationships because you're not showing up resentful or burnt out. You're showing up balanced and real. People who think about themselves in a healthy way tend to have stronger boundaries, more clarity in their decisions, and deeper confidence. They understand that protecting their peace isn't rude, it's necessary. They know when to say no, when to take a break, and when to walk away from situations that don't serve them. That kind of self-respect becomes a guiding force in their lives. It teaches others how to treat them and builds an internal sense of trust. When you make yourself a priority, you're not taking anything away from others. You're making sure that you're in the best condition to give, love, work, and lead. You stop waiting for permission to care for yourself and start taking responsibility for your own well-being. This mindset helps you move with clarity and purpose because you're no longer acting from obligation, but from intention. Thinking about yourself means you're living by design, not by default.